Maxxine. What a huge disappointment that film was. It shouldn't be called Maxxine. It should be called Crackscene. I'll be right back with my personal commentary on this movie, which in my viewpoint should never have been made. Welcome back, guys, to Little Paul of Horrors. I am Little Paul. This is Little Paul of Horrors. Thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for your eyeballs. Thank you for your presence. And today's personal commentary review is going to be one that's going to be painful for me to give. Because I love T West. I love the movie X. I love the movie Pearl. And now I was geared up to love the movie Maxxine, and I did not. It was not good, ladies and gentlemen. It was the equivalent of what I would say using up the last piece of toilet paper on the toilet roll to wipe yourself after you took a huge, massive dump. Isn't that a great picture in your head? Not in mine. This movie was really bad. And it pissed me off because it was supposed to be the crowning jewel on the trilogy of T West with Maxxine. So before we go any further, here are the main players of the movie. First, the director, T West. Then Mia Goth as Maxxine. And I love Mia Goth. Elizabeth Debicki as Elizabeth Bender, the British director who is directing the film that Maxxine will be playing in. Moses Sumner as Leon, who is the video store employee. An adult video store employee. Michelle Monaghan as Detective Williams, as original as that is. Bobby Cannavale as Detective Torres. Halsey as Tabby Martin, a porn star. Lily Collins as Molly Bennett. Giancarlo Esposito, who is in almost everything nowadays, as Teddy Knight, an agent for the adult film industry and Z-list film actors. Kevin Bacon as John Labatt, a private investigator, and Simon Prast as Ernest Miller, a televangelist and Maxxine's estranged father. So, how did this fare? Well, I think the laughter in the theater yesterday gave it away to me, because I was one of those people that was laughing as well. It was not a good movie. It did not pay homage to the two previous installments in this trilogy. It did not do justice to Maxxine, who is supposed to be a strong, devious, and calculative serial killer female in the horror genre, which is something that you don't find very often, which I was excited about because finally, we have representation of, somebody else, a strong female serial killer who can do and be just as sadistic as any male serial killer can, right? We need that. We need to have this type of diversity within our horror movies, because men are not only psychotic, women can be too. And Maxxine is a perfect example. In Maxxine is not Maxxine. She's not this, psychotic serial killer who is going to obliterate everyone in her way to get and realize her dream. No, she comes out to be some type of to me, like a guidance counselor. Boring and way too vulnerable. She spends more time doing coke in this movie than she does killing, if she does any. There's one scene in the movie and you're like, whoa, okay, yeah, this is Maxxxine. And that's all you get. One. If you go back and watch Pearl or X, there's more than just one. But no. Not Maxxxine. T, what were you doing? What were you thinking? You know, this movie goes beyond silly. It is silly because the story makes no sense. Like, they try to tie it in to the Night Stalker who was a serial killer in the mid-80s. There's no tie. It makes no sense between the two. I don't even know why they wrote that in. I guess try to, make you think that she's going one-on-one with this Night Stalker, but she's not. She's not. This movie is a cat and mouse game where Maxxxine is being blackmailed. Now, the Maxxxine that I know would not be blackmailed. Or, let me rephrase that, would not allow herself to get blackmailed at all. See, this movie would have been much more interesting if she would have realized it and put into play a plan to get the serial killer or the person who's trying to blackmail her and to leave a body count behind her while at the same time, doing the movie and becoming famous. See, that would have been the Maxxxine that I think a lot of us, huge fans of the trilogy, would have been satisfied with. But T didn't do that. What did T do? Well, he crapped the bed. Maxxxine equals crap. The movie loses its luster within, I would say, 25 minutes after the movie. And the movie is an hour and 43 minutes long. It is ridiculous. The characters, like Giancarlo Esposito, playing Teddy Knight, just stereotypical, one-dimensional character who is a skeevy, agent for hire, I guess you could say. Just tongue-in-cheek, bubblegum BS, and Kevin Bacon playing this disgusting private eye who, for some reason, which is not even expressed or explained in the movie, tries to exact revenge on Maxxxine. What? While being hired to play her, or meaning like to play her by getting her involved in a cat and mouse game and, blackmailing her. Doesn't make any sense. Moreover, there's this one scene that I found so dumb. Now, for those individuals who haven't watched it, you can stop here, come back later, and watch the rest of it because there are spoilers. Or this is a spoiler in the movie. Her friend, who is played by Moses Sumner, the character of Leon, the video store clerk, gets killed by this murderer, which is not Maxxxine. And the video store is underneath the same place where they live, because they live together. Just platonic relationship. And she notices from the window that there's all these police cars there. And she rushes downstairs
Huh?
to look to see what's happening. And they roll out this bloodied carcass covered with a blanket, okay? But you can see it's all bloody. Like, how many, police crime scenes are going to roll out a person bloodied up? That's just dumb. It's dumb. You don't roll out a bloody carcass. You put it inside a bag, inside a body bag, so that the blood doesn't show. And on top of that, as Maxxxine is gazing and looking into what's happening, the policeman pulls the blanket up to reveal who's underneath.
Who does that? At a crime scene in front of all of these people that are watching this. T, what the hell? What is that?
That is by far one of the dumbest scenes I have ever seen in a horror movie. That is just stupid. No self-respecting police officer or, police bureau would do something like that. Or homicide detectives. That's just dumb. So the characters are very one-dimensional. It's boring. She's way too vulnerable, Maxxxine. And she's not supposed to be vulnerable. She's supposed to be a strong, psychotic killer, as I mentioned before. And will do whatever she can to get and to achieve her goal. That is the purpose of this trilogy. And he screws it up. T, you screwed it up. You disappointed your fans. We're all disappointed because I can tell you a lot of the people inside that movie theater were laughing. A horror movie is not supposed to make you laugh unless there are funny scenes inside. But it was just so ridiculous. The ending of the movie is so over the top. It's so straight to, video release online. It shouldn't even, it's, oh my God. It boggles my mind how they made this. It's like watching a cheap Western at the end. Guns blazing, people being blown to bits. Maxxxine crying? Maxxxine doesn't cry. Unless she's putting on a performance. But she doesn't cry. And then all of this other stuff that happened, it's just so, I don't want to spoil the rest of the movie. But it doesn't do it justice. The story is weak. It makes no sense. Maxxxine is not strong. She's too vulnerable and too tepid, I find, as a horror movie or a killer, a psychotic killer. The rest of the characters, aside from Elizabeth Debicki, but who plays the director of the movie that she's in, but the rest of the characters is too much. It's over the top. It's ridiculous. It's overacting at its worst. This movie does not do the trilogy justice. And then on top of that, it's like she puts on this type of war paint on her face in one scene where she's going to get revenge on Kevin Bacon. Like, he gets it bad. It's bad how he gets it. But she doesn't do it alone. She doesn't do it alone. It defeats the purpose of the goddamn movie. She's supposed to be on her own, killing on her own to get what she wants. What did you do to this movie, T? Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't believe this. I was psyched. I was so jacked for this movie. And I was completely disappointed from A to Z. Now, it's your prerogative if you want to waste your money to go watch this movie. Go right ahead. Waste it. Go watch it. And you'll most likely be disappointed. Or you'll laugh and then be disappointed like the majority of the people who went to watch the movie yesterday that I was with. I would recommend to wait until it comes out. Most likely it'll be on Prime because that's where the other two are, X and Pearl, and watch it there. Don't waste your money to be disappointed. Be disappointed for free. It's not worth it. This was supposed to be the crown jewel on the trilogy, and it turned out to be a stinky, loaded diaper of nonsense and crap. It is a bad movie. It is an insult to the end of this trilogy, where the other two were fantastic movies, scared you in your head, made your heart palpitate, made you become tense, and the characters were more than just one-dimensional pieces of garbage and sleazy and skeezy. They had depth. Maxxxine had depth. In this movie, it doesn't seem like she has anything. She just seems so vulnerable, always like she doesn't talk much. You know, she doesn't. There's one scene where she's sadistic in it, and you're like, oh, okay, Maxxine's there. And then, goes away. I was so disappointed. So for me, Maxxxine is an extreme disappointment, does not do the trilogy justice, and does not pay respect to the character of Maxxxine and to the efforts of the previous two installments in the trilogy. That is what I feel. Now, what did you think of what I had to say? Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Have you watched the movie? Did you not watch the movie? And then watch it and come back. Tell me if you did in the comments below. Give me as much feedback as you can. I would like to know what you thought about this movie and what you thought about my personal commentary review. And as always, please like, subscribe, and share the channel with others as well. Let them know I'm out here. I'm here to entertain and to also give you my personal commentary and review on horror movies. So with that being said, thank you very much for visiting my channel. And again, do not waste your money on this. If you want to be disappointed, watch the movie for free when it comes out on a streaming platform. So, until then, I hope you enjoy the show.